What's going on, Mentuition Mafia? We are here in Medellin, Colombia. I'm here with International, of course. Guys, this is a great moment because this is our first official members only live stream, okay, on YouTube. Maybe we'll take it and put it on other, like our Patreon and stuff, but we're just going to leave it on YouTube for now. But today, guys, we're going to talk about the best safety advice for short term, and long term travelers, passport bros. We're going to go over some stories that have happened to us and really give you guys some more game, but like a one-on-one, more of intimate, like kind of conversation. Pause. Okay. But this is going to be more of a intimate conversation, guys, more serious. We're going to say a lot more here than we do on our public shows. Okay. So if you guys have any questions as you pop into the chat, let us know. If you watch this on the replay, don't be shy. Hit us up on Discord or hit us up on Instagram or whatever medium you can get to us on, and we'll explain what we were talking about after this live, if you have to catch it later, okay? But let me let International go. We got a special guest. We actually have two special guests coming today. One's on the way. Our boy Homies Hub is on the way, and I'll let International introduce our guest that we have here on the panel.
Yeah, so shout out to my guy, TCB World Traveler. I'm going to bring him up. And basically, guys, I went to Peru and I met TCB Traveler while I was there. I did a live stream. I think it was a members only. So this is the first members only on this channel, on the brand new channel. But we had some members only streams. And I believe this was a members only stream that we did. He told me it was in Peru also. And I was like, well, we definitely got a link. We found out where we were staying. We found out we were only like a couple blocks away from each other. So we met up. The vibe was dope, no diddy. And we got a chance to meet each other. We clicked and instantly became cool. And we were there together for about the same amount of time. And it was just cool having another brother there that, kind of going through the same thing. This was our first time there together. We had each other's backs. And this story that we're going to tell you, we're going to go through the full breakdown of the Peru. We talked about it a little bit when it happened. We're going to give you full details today. We're going to talk a little bit more about it. And, how it was so great that we met each other. I think it was kind of God that made everything happen because, I was able to check in on him, see what was going on. We're able to have each other's backs. And, I was really able to help him get a lot of the stuff taken care of very quickly and minimize the damage that was happening, by having a buddy there. And he had my back the whole time. And it was just, it made everything a lot better. So without further ado, going to let TCB Traveler tell us a little bit about himself and why we brought him on the panel and why he's meant to be here today talking about this situation. All right.
Yeah, thanks, Alex, Steve, for the introduction there. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on this program for today. You guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you sound good, loud and clear.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, I'm kind of remote right now. I don't have my laptop or anything like that, so I'm just calling from my phone. But yeah, like Steve said, we met last year. I believe it was like in June in Lima, Peru. So I had been traveling there. I kind of follow the mentorship program a little bit here and there when I can. But I saw that he was in Peru, so I I hit him up and we linked up and had a a little bit of a experience that taught us, I think, both a lot. So I'm happy to share the story and get your viewers game on how to prevent or just kind of stay safe on the travel game. So
yeah, I also want to say I really appreciate TCB for coming up, going over this story. A lot of people that these things happen to, they kind of want to hide in the shadows, not really admit that the things happen, and that doesn't really help anybody. So we appreciate him for being open and honest about everything, and appreciate him for coming back to the panel. He talked about it one time, but making the time to come back. I think that this video is really going to help a lot of people. And yeah, so TCB, before we jump into the story, tell us a little bit about your background. I think that that's really important that the chat knows and our viewers know kind of your background, because that's very important to the story.
Yeah, so I'm a cybersecurity engineer and also a consultant. So I work in tech, and a lot of my job is just securing systems for companies. I've worked for private sector, public sector, like government. So I've worked in very highly secure environments, and I know how to secure all types of devices, really. And I just take a lot of my personal security very seriously. So I take like all my devices, I make sure I have the proper security configurations on them, especially because now I'm traveling as frequently as I do, taking equipment with me and all this stuff. I kind of lock it up, make sure I have my passwords locked up. I use different tools, different VPN services if I'm, in very remote areas. So, yeah, because of my security background, I kind of use that as a means to make sure that when I travel, I can travel and be safe. So that is my background there, and I've been working in the field for about like 8.5 years now.
Okay. So guys, they really picked the wrong person. I know that they randomly pick people, but they really picked the wrong person to kind of do this to, because even though some of the stuff still ended up getting stolen, we weren't able to mitigate all of the risk, but we were able to quickly, just by his background and some of the things that he did that I didn't even really think about myself, we were able to like stop everything from happening very, very quickly because of his background and his expertise. So yeah, so I guess I guess it's time. I think we should jump into the video right now, or jump into the topic right now. Talk about the story. Talk about exactly what happened in detail, and just like the preventative measures that we would take going forward. So TCB, I'll let you kind of explain that.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was it was a Sunday in Lima, and there's this one spot that's always popping every Sunday. Every single Sunday, it's always lit. It's like you can call it like a salsa kind of bar or whatever. So I think I hit Steve up that night, that Sunday. I knew I had work in the morning the next day, so I told him, "Hey, do you want to go out? I know this place called Barranco Bar. We can chill out there for a little bit." But obviously, I had work, so I wasn't gonna stay out too late. Or that's what I had planned, to not stay out too late. So we pull up to Barranco Bar, and then we were just there, enjoying the vibe, just chilling. We got a few drinks from the bar, and then we met two women. And what's important about this place is it's just a regular spot. Like there's no working women. It's just regular local people who go there and typically enjoy, Sunday evening. So we were there. We met the two women. We were drinking. Everything was cool. Um, they had a live performance on stage. So we were, dancing with the girls, having a good time, having a good vibe, and ordering drinks. So we did that for a few hours. And then, I was kind of lit. I wasn't like fully drunk, but I was kind of tipsy, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So, my mind is not working at 100% now, right? So I'm kind of like thinking, but not fully to my full capability. So I guess the girls who are with us, I could tell at least the one I was with from my current state at that time, I thought she was into me. So I was like, okay, I'm about to go home, and I told Al, like, yo, text me when you're at home. We'll check up on each other, kind of thing. And I guess we parted ways at that point in the evening. So I got back to my place, and this is where I think things started to go wrong because I remember taking I remember taking the Uber back home, and
Mhm.
in my building that I was living in, there's a guy or two guys at the front desk. And normally, if I brought someone over, they would ID check the person or whatever the case may be, right? Just do a quick like security check.
Right.
But because I was like, drinking and I wasn't really fully uh, thinking straight, I can't remember if I actually checked her in with the security people. So,
So hold on, but before you go through the story, let me ask a few questions. So, because I want the members to kind of understand. So, you guys went to a bar, you
yeah,
guys had some drinks, you got a little bit lit, and to your guys' knowledge, these were just regular girls. This was a regular bar. These are non-working women, um, and you take her back to your place, but you don't remember catching the Uber or taxi, and you don't remember if you checked her in. Is that right so far?
yeah, I remember taking the Uber back with her. But when I got to the building, I don't remember if the front desk guys, security guys, checked her ID. I don't remember that part.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I can't
So
confirm if I
so
actually checked her in at security or not.
got you. Okay, let me ask one more question and then we can move forward. I'll let you continue the story. I just want the new people that just came in to kind of catch what's going on. And then so let me ask one question. Do you think she may have slipped something in your drink in the process at this bar? At this point,
No,
you're just chilling, you're just drunk, you just feel like, you know what, I'm lit. That's it.
yeah, no. At the bar, I was getting my drinks from the actual bar myself, right? So every time I needed a drink, I would just go and get it myself or go get it for Al and myself and bring it back. So it wasn't any case where like we were sitting down at a table and we had drinks. It was within the establishment. We were ordering our own drinks and we ordered a couple of drinks for the girls as well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so continue on. So you went to the you got back to the Airbnb, and then what
hmm
happened?
Yeah. So we went upstairs to my place and we started hooking up. So she's like on the couch with me. This is from what I remember. I'm hooking up with her, like I'm making out with her. I'm on the couch with her. At this point, I'm still good. Like I'm tipsy, but I'm still there. And I grabbed my phone, and this is where I noticed that okay, I made a mistake because I think I grabbed my phone. I think I had like Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi, but the speaker on Bluetooth, right?
Hmm.
And I typed my phone like passcode in, and I was trying to like get to Spotify so I could like put different music on, right?
Hmm.
And I saw her like peeping over like to look at my phone because what she was trying to do was she was trying to look at like what I was typing on my security code.
Hmm.
So that's where I made a mistake. So I let her see how or what number I was punching into my phone so that she could get access to my phone.
I see. Give me
Yeah.
1 second, TCB. Let me make sure there is an echo coming right after you talk. I can hear you clearly,
Yeah.
but there is an echo. So let me see if I can get that out. Give me
All right.
one moment. Um, I don't know why. Maybe I need to turn the Bluetooth off, but if I turn the Bluetooth off, it's not going to. Let me try something. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I appreciate you guys for letting me know there's an echo. And let me know if I'm echoing, guys, or if it's just TCB. Um, let me know if I'm echoing Rick or if it's just TCB. If I talk, does it sound like there's an echo after I speak, or is it only when he speaks? Right now, guys, we don't have headphones, so okay, it's just TCB.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's me.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, I feel like if I mute us, they won't be able to hear you. Let me mute myself real quick.
All right.
One second, and then I'll have you talk real quick. Okay, TCB, I'm gonna mute myself, and then just say something in like 3 seconds. Just count to five real quick. Okay.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think it's clear now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys. So did TCB lag, or I'm sorry, not lag? Did he echo there when he was doing five, four, three, two, one? If it's a no, then what we'll do is we'll mute our mics when he talks. I think what's going on is okay. So all right, so we'll go and then you'll go TCB that way,
All
and
right.
then we'll mute each other's microphone. So when you're done speaking, mute yours, and then we're
Yeah.
done speaking, we'll mute ours. Okay.
All right, cool.
Thank you so much, Rick. So mute your mic now, TCB, and I'll say a few
Go
things.
ahead.
So guys, again, we are talking to TCB. This is a very important live. We're going to talk about safety tips. We have Homies Hub on the way, and TCB was with International in Peru, and he's talking about how he got robbed, or a bunch of stuff stolen from him, as well as International. All right, TCB. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, but you can continue on from you guys got back to the Airbnb.
Yeah. So we got back to the Airbnb. I go upstairs with her. I start hooking up with her. I had a few drinks in my apartment as well. So I made myself a drink. I made her a drink, right? And we're listening to music. And where I think I made a mistake, or I know I made a mistake rather, was we were on the couch and I grabbed my phone and I want to change my music on Spotify or look for something else to listen to while we're, hooking up. And I type in my code on my iPhone, and I can clearly see her like peeping over to like see what I typed into my phone. And I think that was the mistake right there, because had I have not done that, she was not able to kind of execute on the plan that she had because she wasn't able to get into my phone. So she really like was like looking over while I'm typing my passcode into my phone. And I had done that, let's say I had done that like maybe 2 or 3 times. So I think by the second or third time, she was able to decipher what the code was to enter my phone. Does that make sense? So yeah, so that's where the night kind of blacked out for me. At that point, the rest I don't remember. And all I remember was waking up the next day very late. Like I told you, I had work on Monday, so I had a meeting that I missed completely. Okay, and that's when I realized, okay, something's wrong here. My phone was gone. My cards from my wallet gone. Right, the credit card. Um, what else was taken? She took some of my clothes. Imagine that. She took a hoodie from me. She took my cologne. Like I had like a Versace and like Montclair cologne. She took that too. She took. She luckily she did not take my laptops. I think again, she was a petty thief, so she couldn't just like ransack my whole spot because she had to walk. Because even for her to exit the building, she has to walk past the front desk, so she can't be like running out with bags, right? And they don't know who she is, right? So she just took all the little stuff that she could. Of course, all the money in my wallet was taken, um, but luckily for me, I had backup stuff locked up somewhere. So I had extra money, like in cash, USD, locked up and stashed away somewhere just in case something happened. I had backup cards, so I had like another credit card that I needed to that I could use if something happened in the house. So luckily, she did not get to that, or she wasn't even able to take those because I had locked them up in my TSA lock suitcase. So she wasn't able to get to that money or that credit card. So that was good. Um, and she also took another phone from me. So she took two iPhones. The other phone she took was my work phone, the one that I use for work. So it was two iPhones and a hoodie and my cologne. and the money and the credit cards. That's what she took in total.
Okay, let me say a few things, and then I'll we'll move on and get to a little bit more, sauce on maybe what people can do, how you prevented it. Um, Rick James has a question for you. He said, "Why didn't you have your fingerprint scanner on your phone? Why was it? Why were you using a passcode? Is that more secure, or if you want to go ahead and
Yes.
respond to him real?"
Yeah. So the reason why I don't have the biometric um, authentication on my phone is because for that exact same reason. So like, if someone, let's say they drug me, or I'm kind of incapacitated, if I have Face ID on my iPhone, all they got to do is use my face to open the phone anyway. So I was using a code as this is like what I was thinking was the most secure way. The issue was I let her look at what I was typing in. If I didn't let her look at it, she wouldn't have known what it was. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, Rick James, there's your answer. Yeah, it's actually more secure in a lot of cases to have the actual passcode, because if you're knocked out from scopolamine or drinking or whatever, they can just open your eyelids or use your finger. I mean, you're helpless at that point. There's nothing you can do. International, welcome back. I wanted to give you a moment to
Yeah. Sorry,
say.
guys. I had a few things to do. We're setting up the second guest, so I'm trying to get that all together. But so, yeah. And I want to emphasize, like, these were regular girls at a regular club. It was a salsa club. We didn't expect any of this stuff to happen. Um, and it was just crazy because whenever you think about it, you think about this stuff happening. Typically, you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to get a pro that I don't really know, and you're just thinking, that's when it can happen, but it can literally happen to anyone. And I think both of these girls had scope on them. I don't know if TCB was actually scoped or not, but I think that they both had scope on them, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Why I think that. But yes, it was crazy, and we weren't drunk. We were a little bit tipsy. We we never really get drunk overseas, all crazy. Um, Me and Steve went out yesterday with the guys. We're popping bottles. Even then, we still didn't get drunk. We're still aware of everything, our surroundings, and that's the way you have to be overseas. So this was just like a good time. We were salsa dancing all night with these girls. And this was just unfortunate what happened. Um, so yes. So do you want to continue?
Yeah, I just
TC?
want to kind of, yeah, I want to echo what you said. I think it's definitely avoidable, based on now that me now that I think of it again and I go back and retrace what happened. I'm like, this is definitely an avoidable thing. Had I just not, you know, one, take home a stranger. That's that's the first thing you got to do. Don't take home a stranger. Um, but also, things that she was doing, also I could have prevented it in some way. So, yeah, I'll continue the story. So, yeah, I wake up the next day. I don't think I was drugged, in my opinion, because when I woke up, I was just in a state of shock. I didn't feel dizzy. I didn't feel sick. I didn't feel like someone had put some kind of substance in my body. I just knew I blacked out, and I woke up and things were missing. So that's my my opinion based on the way that I woke up the following day. So obviously now she's taking my phone, she's taking my other phone, she's taking money, credit cards, and I don't have a way of like getting in touch with somebody. So the first thing I did was she did not take my laptops. I had my laptop, so I had my Instagram, I think, logged in on my Mac, and I like messaged Al, and I was like, yo, like, because I think he was expecting me to hit him up in the morning, either just send him a message like, yo, are you good, whatever, and he never heard from me. And Al knew that I had a meeting for work the following day, so I guess also him, he was starting to think like, hey, what's going on here. So I got in contact with Al on Instagram, and I was like, hey, I got robbed. But I need your help because like she took my credit card, so I need to call American Express, cancel that card, tell them whatever charges after last night are fraudulent. And also I needed to get some help to like just see what I could lock down as quickly as possible so that they don't do anything. Now on my phone, what I do is yeah, I have an iPhone, so I have different apps for different things. I have like banking apps. I have other financial apps, um, and like Cash App, for example. I have my banking, Capital One on there, all this other stuff. And what I do is, again, going back to one of the gentlemen who left a comment. I think he said, "Well, why don't you use fingerprint or why don't you use Face ID?" A lot of these apps on your phone, they allow you to log in with Face ID. Some of them don't even require you to put in like a security code if you want to log into them. So luckily for me, or not luckily for me, but what I do is for all these apps that I know are sensitive, that are tied to like accounts that have money and things like that, I set a security code that's different on each and every one of them. So even if you wanted to, let's say you stole my phone, if you wanted to get into my bank account, the security code for that is completely different from the security code to my phone. So that unless you actually know the code, you're not going to be able to get access to it. So I have different codes for the different apps, and I don't use Face ID or I don't leave any of them automatically logged in at all. So that saved me a lot because when I went to Cash App, for example, I saw once I was recovering my apps, and once I got another phone, we went to the mall. I got a new phone. I restored it from backup like iCloud, and I was able to get into my Cash App, for example. I saw that the girl or whoever she gave the phone to try and extract money from my Cash App, they tried to send like uh, $10,000 from my bank account to the Cash App application, and it was denied. And then I saw they tried 1,000 after that, then they tried 100, and it all failed. The reason why is because for you to send money from my bank to Cash App, you have to put in a PIN code, and that PIN code is completely separate from whatever is on my phone. So that saved me a lot. And the credit cards, I wasn't that worried about them because obviously it's not even my own money. So I just called my credit card company, they cancel the card, they return whatever I say is fraudulent. So we're good. So, and then I just had to buy new phones, which was a little bit of a pain. I had an issue with my phone carrier, and that's another mistake that I made. I was using at the time I was using like a prepaid like phone carrier. I don't know why I'd been using it for many years. I don't know why I never changed it, but it was kind of hard to recover that phone number. So some other things I was able to like um, recover like maybe 70% of my stuff.
Uh-huh.
But the other like 30% I couldn't get access to because my phone number wasn't working. And again, I was traveling. I didn't go to United States. I didn't go back to United States after this. I stayed in that country where I was at, and then until the end of my trip, and then I went home. So,
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Let me.
All right.
Al has a question, I think, and so.
Okay. So one thing I want you guys to know too um, was how smart TCB Traveler was. He had a lot of things in place to prevent certain things from happening. Obviously, you can't, sometimes you can't prevent everything 100%, but things could have gotten a lot worse. So one smart thing that he did was brilliant. One, a lot of stuff doesn't happen, one, if you have the security guard downstairs. He ended up probably bypassing that security guard, just bringing it home, just getting comfortable. I actually ended up doing it myself. I walked past the security guard at my place with the girl that I brought up too. So we'll talk about that momentarily. So that's one thing. Having a security guard that you tell them you have a good relationship with them, you tip them every few days, just throw them a few dollars, build that relationship with them. That's going to help you out so much. And then I always tell mine, hey, I'm a gentleman. I don't I don't let the women walk down by themselves. I always escort them down. So if there is a lady leaving without me, then it's not me. Or there's
What's good,
something
bro?
wrong. Not there's not me. There's something wrong if she's leaving without me, right? I'm a gentleman. I'm always going to walk her down. I'm always going to escort her, make sure she
Give
gets
me
to her
one
car.
sec.
So make sure
did
that
you get?
do
Did I
that.
send you the Addy and
Every
the name
single
of it, or just
time.
the Addy,
Take care of your security guard.
or just the name of it?
The brilliant thing that he did was his Airbnb was set up to a point that he had one bedroom, but then he also had an office door, and the office door had a lock on it. So his office door that was locked had all his laptops and things in it, and he was able to prevent all of that stuff from getting stolen because that door was locked. He also traveled with USD cash. He had like, I think maybe 1,000. No, he had like two racks with him. Something crazy to like where if anything happened and something got completely stolen, he got his passport stolen, he got his phone stolen. He had 2 racks USD cash. If all of his wallets were gone, all his credit cards were gone, he had that emergency money. And luckily, with Apple Pay and things like that, and he still had his credit cards available. Those didn't get stolen because those were in the room. Luckily, he didn't have to use it, but he had it just in case. So he had a lot of precautions up to prevent the things from happening. But like I said, sometimes you don't just think of every single thing happening. With me, I had all of my, I have everything on my phone. I had an easy password for my phone just because I want to unlock it really quickly. I'd never experienced anything like this. I never really thought about, if a girl's over, if she's going to, drug me, see the passcode in my phone. This girl was able to get into his phone, not only had his email address, or not only had his passcode to the phone, she was able to change his Apple password by having access to his email address. He had all the emails set up to where, how did you have your email set up to where she was able to, they were like all set
Yeah.
up
So
where
again, I
they
had
could
the
easily be
Gmail app,
accessed.
right? And on the Gmail app, you can actually like manage your Google account. So whoever she gave the phone to, I don't think she did it. I think she gave it to accomplice, right? They changed the settings for the password for my Gmail, so that locked me out. And I was not able to recover that until I got back to the U.S. And another thing I was also locked out of is because the Gmail email is tied to the Apple email. That's another thing that she was able to, because of the password change. Because of the password change, she was able to lock me out of there as well. So it was those two things.
Okay, so yes. Yeah, so with him having his main email that was connected to his Apple ID set up onto his phone, when you click the mail app, it doesn't ask you for a password to open that email, right? So she was able to get in the mail app, lock him out of his emails, change his Apple ID, and then to the point where he got a brand new phone and he wasn't even able to log in, get his apps back right away. He had to wait a whole month while he was there, because this happened at like the beginning of the month. He had to wait like a whole month while he was there to go back overseas to America and go back to his phone store because he had a prepaid phone, and it was just a huge mess. It caused a huge mess. When you have a prepaid phone, you don't really have the same access to call your carrier, explain to them what happened.
The
All of
level
that
of
stuff.
service is some shit.
Yeah, the level of service is trash. Then he had to hope that worked, and I didn't even know if it was going to work, if he was even going to be able to get his number. He bought a brand new phone, and it was basically a brick. He couldn't get his number on it. He couldn't get in any of his apps, any of that stuff, because he didn't have his Apple ID. He wasn't able to call like Ubers and all of that stuff. He had to make a whole new Apple ID, connect it. Like, it's huge if your phone gets hacked into and then they're able to do stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, because
couldn't use Cash App.
once I change a password on you, you can't recover it, right? So that was my mistake. My mistake was not the email. Don't the actual app that you need to avoid having on your phone is the actual Gmail app. Don't have that app because someone steals, they can, if they're a proper thief, they can change that email password and then lock you up. But another thing you can do to prevent it, which I did now, because when I went back to States, I started doing all these proper security protocols is even in my Gmail app, like even now, like let's say if my phone gets stolen now and they do change a password on me, I have ways of recovering it quickly. So I have one of the recovery options is my sister's phone number. One of my other recovery options is security backup codes I can use to get back in if the password is changed on me or anything like that. Another recovery option is I actually bought a hardware token. It's called a YubiKey. It's like an actual physical device that you plug into your phone or your laptop, and that will be able to authenticate you to your email if your password is ever changed or anything like that. So I have 3 additional ways of getting in if someone locks me out.
Mhm. I want to make a quick point. So I know a lot of you guys that may watch this or are watching right now, you may be thinking, man, that's a lot of stuff you got to do to travel. Yeah, yeah, man. I mean, guys, you're going to countries where you don't, know people. People don't know you. They look at you as food, basically, because you have money, and you're better safe than sorry. So all the things we're going to go over today, guys, are just precautionary measures that all of us should be taking. It does seem like a lot, but it's not that much. As long as you set it up once, you don't have to set it up again. So if you set up your passwords and set up all these things, it's done, right? How many times are you gonna have to make a new password, right? So I want you guys to really pay attention to that. I know it sounds like we're going over a lot of different ways to protect yourself, but we're giving you guys some really good sauce here, and it can literally be the difference between living or dying, but also your money getting stolen or you having money. Because the worst thing is you don't want to get stranded in some of these countries and have to call the embassy or friends or family or whatever. Maybe you won't even have a phone. So, but yeah, that's all I wanted to say, just to kind of add to.
So one thing, you said, can scammers still hack your accounts without the code? No, I mean, Apple's pretty secure. It's hard for them to get into your accounts if it's locked, if they don't have your passcodes or anything like that. So they had the passcode. They were able to change it, and they were able to change his Apple passcode, and that's how they were able to get into his account. Now, the one thing that he was able to do initially is tell him the lock device that you use online, the digital lock device.
Yeah. So I have this. I have this tool. It's called LastPass. Pretty much, it's a password safe. Really, that's where I keep like all my credentials, all my usernames, all my passwords and stuff. So that's like my, if you want to call it, that's like the keys to the kingdom. If you get access to that, for me, you kind of have access to everything because all my passwords, all my uh, accounts, they're all like stored in there. So when the person stole my phone or whoever they were working with, the accomplice, right? For them to get access to any of those apps on my phone, Capital One, Chase, not Cash App, Chase, Capital One, um, Coinbase, all these other things that I have. For them to even get the usernames or password for that, you have to have the access to my LastPass, which is the safe. It's like a password online safe. And for me, I don't have that thing logged in on my iPhone. So for any time I access it, like even now, if I wanted to just get in there and grab a password for Chase Bank or whatever, I have to actually put the password in myself. So I don't have it saved on my phone anywhere in the notes. It's in my head. So there's no way that if someone steals my stuff now, they'll be ever able to access any of those apps, any of those accounts, because I save it all in one place and I have a separate password that I type in myself onto that application, and it gives me access to everything. So that's what I used. So even if they took my iPhone, they weren't able to actually take any money from any of my accounts because all my usernames and passwords are inside of LastPass.
Okay, real quick too, guys. LastPass, I do think they have a subscription-based version of it. I do think it may be free as well. Go to their website. You can type it in on Google. A lot of people who are, I have a friend who's really big into tech, and he codes and stuff, he uses LastPass. Sometimes he needs to access some things on my end, or I need to access things on his end, and he always does it through LastPass. So LastPass is very popular amongst people who know about security, but also it's a good app that some of us who are traveling should use. I do want to also add that Cash App now has added you have to have a PIN to send money a lot of times. That wasn't always the case, but it's a new thing that Cash App's doing where you have to have a PIN or you have to make a PIN. But I remember when Cash App first came out, you could just hand somebody the phone and they could just, I don't know if the PIN they ask for a PIN always, but maybe over a certain amount it does. Maybe Al or you, TCB, can explain. But I know
the settings add the PIN every time they open the app.
Time they open it. Okay, yeah.
And to send it. So I now have that protected because, like you said, you just go in and you could just send money.
Yeah.
So I have that. That happened right after this. I was like, oh, we're gonna add that in. We did the live stream and we found that out. But yeah, so for all the viewers, since he had the LastPass, since he had all of that stuff set up, he was able to lock all of his apps simultaneously and stop them from getting in. He changed the password on every single app at the same time. Now he has crypto on his phone. He has a bunch of stuff. He was able to do that instantly. And then that's the thing that stopped them from being able to use anything else on his phone. However, he still didn't have access to anything on his phone because they changed his Apple password and he wasn't able to change that back until he got to the States. So that was like the two things that were brilliant. One, he had his laptops and a lot of his stuff locked away in that separate room. When you guys are booking Airbnbs, especially if you're traveling solo dolo, we always say book an extra room, right? We always say that. If it's one person, book it for two. Make sure you get that second bedroom, and stash stuff wherever you can find it convenient, to do so. So that helped them out a lot because that door was locked. She couldn't even get into it, and he had the key on him in his pocket. And she's just trying to get out really quickly. So she just took everything that she could quickly. And then the second thing was having that LastPass. He woke up, he was able to log in and switch all of his passwords simultaneously to everything that was important at the same time. So that saved him a lot of money. So yeah.
So I'll say one more thing and then we'll kind of, I guess, move on to the next. Are we going to talk more about Peru?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about kind of the situation that happened with me.
Okay. Yeah. Something happened with
my side of kind of like the things that happened, and then we can move on.
Okay.
I think homies will be there after.
Cool. I'll say this real quick, guys. Any questions or comments, please put them in the chat. We love that. So continue to engage. I see you, Kev. What's up, Kev? Mohammed, I see you, man. And Lance, thank you for joining, man. Appreciate you guys. Again, if you guys have any questions for us, for TCB and for Homies Hub when they come, let us know, guys. Again, today we're talking about safety, travels, gotta know how to move, okay? Yeah. This is kind of the first installment of that. There may be some more, but we're just talking about International and TCB getting robbed in Peru. I'll hand it over to International to explain his side of the story because there were two girls, but they went home separately with the two girls knew each other, but they went home separately with both of them.
Yeah. So this is kind of like my side now. So you kind of heard his, and then me and him are in separate places. So this is kind of how my night went. So me and him were at the club. Like I said, this was probably like one of the best nights out. I was literally salsa dancing for like 2 hours straight. He was salsa dancing with 2 hours straight. These girls were, definitely vibing with us, cool, all that stuff. We thought everything was good, but they were vibing with us so that they could try to get us and all that stuff. So we're leaving the club. We're making sure each other got home. The Ubers we would just catch one Uber because it was literally, we were staying on the same street, which was kind of crazy. And it was just like 1 or 2 blocks up. So the Uber drops him and his girl off and then takes me right up the street to my place, drops me off. I walk past the security guard with the girl, thinking I know what I'm doing. I don't really need to check her in. that was my mistake. I bring her up. I don't really keep alcohol in the place a lot. Couple of reasons. One, it's too easy to get spiked, drugged, anything. That's the obvious reason. And two, it's just so accessible, right? There was a downstairs store in my building to where if I wanted to get a drink, I could. It's cheap overseas. Whenever I lived in Rio, I barely kept it in my place too, because I could literally walk downstairs, walk 10 feet, be at a bar, get, I was drinking vodka or whatever. I could get like a full cup of vodka, like a full cup. That's probably like 4 or 5 shots of vodka for like $2 or $3 at that time. And it's even cheaper now, right? So there wasn't really a need for me to really keep alcohol in the house that much. So whenever I got her home, we're chilling on the couch. And we were just like kind of Netflix and chilling. She kept asking me, she's like, hey, do you have anything to drink? Do you have anything to drink? We should both get some drinks. I was like, no, I don't have anything. I'm good. And she's like, come on, we need to drink. She kept trying to encouraging me to drink. And we had just left the bar, just left the club. I'm already tipsy. I don't need to drink anymore. And it's like 3 a.m., but she kept trying to encourage me to drink. Also, she kept going to the bathroom. I think this was her first time, trying to do something like this and stealing and drugging people. So she was a little bit nervous. She was like, I could see her visibly shaking, just things like that, red flags that I kind of didn't know to look out for. So she was a little bit nervous. And then basically we're chilling on the couch, or we're chilling on the couch. Before I went out that night, guys, I had just got home. I was doing some running around in a few places. And initially I was editing like early in the day. So I think early in the day I was editing. I had the camera out, I had the drones out, that stuff. And then my laptop on the table. And typically another thing is you got to keep your place clean. You got to Tika-proof your place. You got to always be anticipating bringing a lady back. So I had went out and then I went to sleep after I finished editing. And then once I got home, I went out without putting everything away. My laptop was out, my drone was out, and my Pocket 3 camera was out. So then she found out it was a camera. She was kind of asking a few questions about it, all of that stuff. And then I was starting to get tired. It was probably like 5 or 6 in the morning at this point. And, I was trying to make some moves to try to smash, and she wouldn't let me. So I was like, all right, I'm going to nicely ask her to go, get her out of there nicely, because you don't want problems with these girls too. So for me, if I bring you back and you're not trying to do anything cool, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to pressure you. Cool. But then you got to go. Like, you got to go. So I'm kicking her out, and I had, I think she had went out to the bathroom or something. Something happened initially. She went out to the bathroom and I didn't have my eyes on her. And then she went and grabbed my pocket camera. So, and put in her purse because it's really small. So then when we left, I took a quick glance at the table. I saw my laptop still there. I saw the drone still there. And then we go in the elevator. We go downstairs, and I take her outside. She's like in a hurry at this point, and I was supposed to call her Uber. She's like, no, I'll call it. And she hurry up and like dipped out. And I thought about it right after she left. I'm like, I think this bitch stole my pocket. I just had a thought. Like, I'm like, I think this bitch stole my pocket. So then I go back upstairs. I look for it. It's nowhere to be found, because I knew it was on the table. and she was asking questions about it. So that's how I knew. So I didn't get drugged or robbed because I wasn't drinking around her, right? We both had some areas where we were completely smart, and some areas where we made some bonehead decisions that we wish we could take back. However, the pocket was the least expensive thing that I had out. So even though it cost more money to get another one, it sucked that it happened. At least, we were both safe. We didn't lose any significant amount of money. We didn't lose the laptop. Might have lost my laptop. That would have been a lot harder to replace. My drone was fine. So it sucked, and I lost a lot of footage too because she took the memory card and all that stuff. So that's pretty much how my night went. And then I went to sleep probably around like 5:30, and I woke up at like 8. And I called my TCB, called him up, said, hey, or I called him up, no answer on his phone, went straight to voicemail, called him up again because I knew he had a meeting. He was supposed to be up at like 7:30. So I knew he had a meeting, knew he was supposed to be up, gave him another call, straight to voicemail. Um, and then I went to sleep, and then I woke up around 11:30, and he still hadn't called me back. So I thought that was pretty odd because he typically like would respond to me right away. So I thought that was kind of odd. And then around like 11:45, I get a message on Instagram that he had gotten his stuff stolen, and she took all his stuff and all of that. I was a little bit skeptical at first because I knew that she had access to the phone. So I called him via the Instagram phone thing to make sure it was him, got the story a little bit, and then I went over to his house to help him recover all his stuff with my cell phone and all that stuff. We had to call Amex on my cell phone, call the credit card companies, do all this stuff. So that's where traveling with a friend comes into play. If you're over there in these countries, it's a lot easier to get through this stuff if you have multiple people. So that's pretty much what happened with my side of everything. And we're going to basically tell you what we learned in the situation and how we would move a little bit smarter. We've already gone over some of the ways, but we'll talk about what we learned. And then we also have Homies Hub pulling up right now. He's going to talk about, some of the stuff that he's witnessed here in Medellin. So we'll go over that as well. So TCB, what have you learned from this situation, and how would you move a little bit more smart, and just what you learned during the situation?
Yeah, thanks, Al. Definitely number one, just don't bring back strangers. That's the main thing. Just don't do it. Just don't. If you don't do it, you avoid this whole, situation. So just even if you meet a regular chick, you can't you can't trust them. You know what I mean? So um that's the first thing. Whether she's professional, whether she's regular, if you meet a stranger out, don't do it. Since then, I've never done it, and I won't do it again. So at least that's the precaution that I'm going to take moving forward. Just if you meet a friend, okay, cool, get a number and leave, and leave her there. Talk to her and see what she's about. You know what I mean? Things like that will just help you. They'll just help you so much. Another thing that I did is uh, always have your security person, verify whoever you're bringing over. Don't let it slide. Don't get comfortable. Because as soon as you let yourself feel comfortable, that's when they'll get you. Um, Number three, I would say definitely have your room prepared for any situation. So make sure you lock your valuables away. Make sure you have a backup phone. Lock that away. Backup phone number. What else? Money, cards. Things that if something happens, you can still operate. So lock those up in the event that you do end up bringing anybody. Number four, I would say travel with somebody, or you don't have to like stay with them in the same Airbnb or whatever, but You can, have a friend down the hall, on the room across from you. But if you have people that you're traveling with, or you meet other people that are there traveling at the same time, like I did with Al in this instance. I met him there in Lima. That's another thing, that can help you prevent, situations like this. And then just from a technology perspective, I would make sure you have different emails for different things. Don't have one email all for the same stuff, because if you have one email for every single thing, a bank account, a Apple ID, a crypto exchange, all under the same account, that means if one thing is compromised, everything is compromised. So you should have multiple emails and different emails for different types of accounts that you have. So I have right now, like I went back to the States, I set up things differently. My banks are all under a separate email than my other Gmail account. My Apple ID has its own separate email now. I have a separate email, Uber, Cash App, for things that I use when I travel. Cash App, Uber, Rappi, that's all under its own email address. So everything is kind of separated. That way, if one thing gets compromised, you can't compromise everything. Um, and I would say just, oh, go ahead. You guys want to say something?
Oh
Okay.
no, you can finish. You can finish up TCB.
Yeah, I think the last thing I would say is, as you travel, try and learn the language for sure. If you learn the language, you can also avoid situations. But I think most of what I said, maybe another technological thing you can do is, uh, again, avoid using the same password for different applications or accounts that you have. Also, avoid having your Face ID open all these applications. So, avoid the Face ID on opening your iPhone or Samsung or whatever you have. Avoid having Face ID, then use use that same authentication method for your applications, for your Capital One, your Bank of America, whatever you're using. Try and avoid that and try and just use PIN codes or passwords if you can, and just make them different, for each one, so that nobody can steal that stuff. And then definitely for me, I switched my phone carrier to Verizon. So now, I am traveling at the moment. If something happens to my phone, I do have a backup phone, so it's easy for me to just call Verizon, get my number reestablished on that backup phone, and I'm backing up and running real quick. So, just have a proper phone carrier also, and a separate line. If you can get a local line, that would also help.
Yeah, man. I think those are all very, very important tips that you're only going to get this here. You're going to get this sauce here. Um, I've never heard anybody talk about these safety precautions, and they've made me move a lot differently as well. I know Apple has a new thing too where you can lock certain apps. So that's a good way. You can hide certain apps so they don't show up to everyone. I need to look more into that myself, but yes, that's super helpful as well. Shout out to our guy, Homies Hub in the building. Appreciate you pulling up, Homies Hub. You actually came just in time. We're gonna get you introduced in one moment. I just want to go over one question, or we'll introduce you right now because I want your input on this as well. So Homies Hub, tell them a little bit about you. Tell them a little bit about your channel, how long you've been here in Medellin, all of that stuff, and kind of your background.
Do I talk to this mic?
Yep.
So what's good, y'all? I'm the Homies Hub. My name is Mosa. Just a little bit of background about me. So I actually just came out of law enforcement. So I worked in law enforcement. I'm super security minded for the last couple years. Um, I started traveling probably 2020, but I was really visiting like Europe and things like that. And I think 2023 was actually my first time coming into like Latin America, what is the typical passport bro kind of space with Cartagena. And actually my first guide, my blueprint as I was going through Cartagena was a video from Mentuition. So shout out to them. It's really crazy how shit comes full circle from actually watching a video to linking them out here inside of Colombia. But yeah, so my channel is basically just kind of just documenting my kinds of experiences, sharing it with the homies. Lots of these conversations that I have on the channel now were actually conversations I'll have in private with my friends and my homies. And after a while, they kind of were just pushing me to say like, hey, bro, you should really just put this out there. So, now we're about 6, 7, 8 months in, and here we are, with the homies hub, got some good growth, and I would like to answer any questions, or if you guys want me to give some of my own personal kinds of like security tips, and I could do that too.
Okay. I want to address this comment real quick, and I'll let you go. I'll let Steve go, and TCB as well. So basically, it says it's actually making America look safe. Not gonna lie, man. My thoughts on this are, yes, I think safety is relative for one, and two, I think that as far as America being safer, I think danger is different in America, right? And it depends on who you are and a lot of different things. So for me, in America, if I want to go out to a club, yes, I'm not going to have to worry about my iPhone getting snatched out of my hand, or somebody trying to necessarily steal my information to get into my bank accounts and all of that stuff. However, there's still druggings and robberies in Atlanta. I mean, in America. In Atlanta, where I was living, somebody got drugged and robbed from the club. I think maybe one of the CEOs or the owners recently got drugged and robbed from a chick there, right? So this stuff still does happen in America. It's just exponentially less. But I think danger in America looks different, right? Yes, I don't have to worry about my phone getting snatched as much. However, I got to worry about, if I'm at the grocery store, just somebody popping up and having a mass shooting, or at church or at a school or some random place that has nothing to do with anything, a movie theater, right? In America, I carry, weapons on me, different things. I got to worry about that. I got to worry about other people having weapons all the time. Overseas, it's not like that. The everyday person doesn't have access to weapons overseas. It's more so either the criminals or the gang members or the police, those things. But the common everyday person isn't going to have a weapon, have a gun overseas, typically. You're not going to have to worry about somebody getting to a road rage incident and just them shooting them up, or somebody cuts you off and you shoot them up. You're not going to have to worry about if somebody steps on somebody's shoes, there's a fight. There's after the fight, somebody comes around, spins the block and shoots up the whole, like that stuff happens all the time in Atlanta. Carjackings, people breaking into your cars, things like that. So I think safety looks a lot different. I feel a lot more safe in overseas, actually, to be honest, than I do in America in a lot of ways. So that's my thought on that question. What about you, homies? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I actually grew up in the Bronx. So life is a little bit different for me. And then from the Bronx, I went to Florida. I would say in the Bronx, even now, only because I grew up there, I'm able to spot danger. But if you're someone who's pretty green or you're really not used to that kind of environment, it is going to be dangerous. People can literally sniff out when you're not from there, when you're easy to take advantage of. Carjackings happen every single day. I have several cars that's been broken into. My mom has several cars that's been broken into. That's something that's happening every single day. So because we're foreigners and we're inside of a foreign land, when we're in a different country and something bad happens, we just over calculate or over kind of estimate how dangerous the place really is. When I would say most of the people I see get into really bad kinds of situations over here in South America, there's a lot of things they could have done to circumvent all of those things from happening. And just like Al was saying, living in Florida, you cut somebody off, that could be a gun battle right there. You know what I mean? Like that's just what it is. I mean, for me, I personally I worked in law enforcement, but it really didn't matter because in Florida, well, at least in Central Florida, we went from you needing to have a carry conceal license to they literally got rid of the carry conceal license. So it wasn't even necessary, and you can go into any store and go buy a gun. So I'll see dudes riding through with a gun on their lap, and that's just what it is. And that's not something you're going to catch here in Medellin, no matter how many scopolamine and kinds of situations are going on. Random people are not going to have guns. Random people are not breaking into your house or breaking into your car. It's just so danger is different. But like I've said multiple times, if you're talking about you and your net worth and the kind of lifestyle you're in, if you are a rich dude, like just like the guy who owned a club in Atlanta, he has money. So once girls seen that he was a lick and he was in the fast life, they took advantage of him. It's the same kind of situation here. Girls see that you have way more money than most of the men that they are around, and you look like an easy lick. Well, they are going to take advantage of you. And if you're not doing the proper things to show her that you're on your P's and Q's, they'll try you. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of that lifestyle. If you're going to indulge in that lifestyle, then you have to be extremely security minded. You don't have to be as security minded if you're venturing away from the lifestyle. But if you're going to be in it, it's something for you guys to pay attention to and just be on point.
Yeah, I'll just add a couple more things. I think y'all pretty much covered everything. I'll just say, man, I think a lot of people come to these countries and they're very green. They actually are more careless here as a tourist than they are and maybe a hood in their own country or in the United States. So would you go to the hood, in Chicago, just walking around with money, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't do that. So you shouldn't do it here. And you have to understand a lot of people here are dirt poor. They just don't make money. So as long as you try to blend in, you wear the right clothing, you're not too flashy. We went out to a couple clubs here. Dudes is throwing money. Some of the dudes I even knew that were throwing money, which was crazy. But you're doing that kind of stuff. You're putting a target on your back. You're really putting your target on the back anywhere in the world when you're doing that. But it's going to be more here where money isn't, abundant and people are struggling, especially right after the holidays. So, I don't think it's more dangerous here than it is in the United States. I do think it's the opposite. I agree with Al. However, you don't want to go walking in some random place and you don't know the language. A lot of you guys, that's another thing too, we got to say, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know the language. So if they were talking about stabbing you, robbing you, getting you, you wouldn't even know what they're saying, right? We had some chicas that we were hanging with the other day that they were like, oh, he speaks Spanish. And then they were talking lower or they'll say stuff fast because they don't want you to catch it. So if they know you speak Spanish, they're less likely to try stuff, right? Because they go, oh shit, he understands me. So in front of your face, if you don't speak the language, they will say, let's get him. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's take this amount of money from him. And you won't even know what's going on. So I think that as long as you do your homework and you do your due diligence when you're coming to these places, you learn, where you're staying. We know what area we're in right now. You learn the language or try to learn some of the language before you get there. You'll be okay. And then again, we're giving you guys some tips on what you guys can do to prevent a lot of this stuff from happening. Always take preventative measures.
TCB, what are your thoughts on all of this in this question?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you and homie's hub. I mean, like you said, the danger is different. Like even in the States, I think a few weeks ago we had the CEO of United Healthcare get shot in broad daylight, right? So yeah, things are just different. But again, I've like you, like I guess from your time in Brazil, you said you felt relatively safe there. Even me, like just because the thing happened in Lima, the situation, that doesn't make me, now say, oh, it's a dangerous place. It's the actions that I took, the mistakes that I made, that put me in a situation that was, dangerous. So, yeah, you just have to like watch yourself, and I think then you'll be good, anywhere you go.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing too. One, in Georgia, with the ease of access of getting weapons, bro, the first time I bought my gun, it was literally you walk into the store and it was kind of like a McDonald's or a Burger King. Like, what do you want? Cool. How do you want? Like, It's that easy. They do a quick background check. You have your gun. Whenever I went there, like it was close to the holidays, like Thanksgiving, they had buy one, get one ARs, like 2 for like $400, $350, something like that. Atlanta is like one of the cool things to do there is home invasions. Somebody breaks into your home, tries to steal all your stuff, and you're just trying to protect you and your family. Guys, like there's protocols you have to take. You can't just shoot and kill people. You're supposed to do warning shots. You're supposed to have certain things. So it's like, okay, even if you do have a weapon to protect yourself from the criminals, if you don't do things a certain way, or the criminals, maybe you scare them off and then they're running away and you shoot them in the back, certain things like that, that could get you hemmed up. And you're just trying to protect yourself and your family. So that's another thing, guys. It's like the safety here, as I mentioned, it's you don't have to worry about that stuff as a gringo, right? Most people aren't going to try me as somebody that's 6 foot, over 250, 6'1", over 250. Most people aren't going to try me in a gringo area, in a tourist area. They're not looking for that, and it's heavily monitored by police and everything. A lot of people aren't going to try that. So as I mentioned, like I feel in a lot of cases more safe overseas in a tourist area where the police are watching, where there's an embassy, where people know that we're not going to harm gringos as much because it's bad for business. In Brazil, me and Steve were there, and Steve got his phone stolen from him, pickpocketed, and literally like 10 minutes later, somebody brings it back and says, hey, is this your phone? Because the gangs there, they don't want to fuck up their money. They're not trying to fuck up their economy. They're thinking about the long game, right? So if you do certain things in certain countries, the gangs kind of keep the order over there in Brazil in some areas. One of the girls I took out on a date told me, like in the favelas, like that she lives, if somebody were to steal from somebody that lives there or not follow certain protocols, they end up getting killed, right? So a lot of times these areas are a lot safer than the US. It's just for whatever reason, the news, the media, they don't want passport bros to happen. They don't want us to take our money overseas. They don't really want us to understand that there's other options. They want you to stay in America, be miserable, in a sexless marriage, things like that. It keeps the economy going. So a lot of times they're going to act like overseas is a lot more dangerous. That's why our channel exists. That's why Homies Hub's channel exists, because we bring you the real news. We tell you Medellin's really not as dangerous as the news is trying to portray them to be. And things haven't happened to any of us, and knock on wood, they still can, but nothing crazy has happened to us. We have 100% success rate with our consultations. Nothing's ever happened, and we've done hundreds of consultations. Not to say nothing can happen if you get a consultation with us, but the people that really do the research and take time to invest into their safety are the people that things don't typically happen to overseas. There's a reason why, we could just move the way we move here in Medellin, and it's seamless, and time after time, nothing's happening. Like I said, we can still get got, things can happen, but even when they do happen, it's very minimal. Like somebody took my camera because she couldn't scope me, all of that stuff. So that's an interesting question, Mohammed. But I think that, like I said, I think that it's safer overseas in a lot of different ways than it is in the United States. Let's check out some of the other comments.
Okay. Let's check out some other comments. And I also think what we should do on this particular stream is go over the preventative measures, some more preventative measures that we take, or some that should exist. Like maybe there's some shit that y'all have thought of. Maybe Mosa has thought of, like, man, I wish there was this or wish there was that, guys. We're just trying to put out ideas and maybe put some things in the air. But let me read a couple comments. And then we'll do a little bit more here because we really want to give you guys some game. And if you guys have any questions about travel, safety, and all of that, please let us know because we are here to help you guys. Lance said, I haven't heard of a roofie case in the States since 2010s. Oh man, it happens all the time. You're talking about roofies on guys? Yeah, it happens all the time. We have someone. It just happened in Atlanta. Cardi B has literally, went on record saying she's drugged guys. All my uncle was drugged at a strip club in Miami. My cousin was drugged at a strip club in Miami. We tell you strip clubs are safe
as well. She was drugged a couple years ago in a club in Dyckman, side New York.
People don't report it, or maybe we're not. The U.S. doesn't really have a I don't know, like what's that thing, like a database where they keep all that information, guys. I don't know, but they probably have it for women and not so much for men. What else do we got here? Look at the chick that stabbed a girl over a delivery tip here in Florida. Shit happens everywhere. Exactly. I've seen people get stabbed and beat up over missing ketchup in a McDonald's bag. I've seen some stupid shit, bro. So yeah, it happens, bro. People get raged at certain things. And one thing, guys, you'll never know what someone's tipping point is, right? So Homie's Hub's tipping point can be someone calling him a name, like making fun of his channel. And he's like, I'll punch the next person that say that. For me, it could be someone saying something about my grandma that just died. Or it could be something as small as you stepped on my shoe that just got, because the last person that stepped on my shoe, we had a whole altercation. So now the next person that stepped on my shoe, I'm beat him up. So what you might think is real stupid to you may be real important to someone else. That's why you don't fuck with people, because you don't know if they're on their last straw. I actually wanted to write a movie or a book called The Last Straw. It's just a guy who was just up to here and he just started killing people. And you would think it was for something little, but then the story goes back and shows how much the shit he was dealing with. So guys, it's relative to each person of what's important to them. You know what I'm saying? For what they'll do to hurt you or get you back. Same with people stealing stuff. It's relative to how much money they're making to what they think is valuable on you. They may like, yo, Homie Sub's jeans or Steve's jeans. Like, I'm about to get them shoes they got. I'm about to get them Yeezys International got on, because to them it's important, but to us it's not. It's all subjective, right? Yeah, subjective, like what you think is important. So I just wanted to add that in. What else?
James asked about the members only footage from yesterday.
From the hot tub?
Yeah.
That's under the members only. That's under the members only. You should see it, Rick James. Let me know if you don't see it and I'll double check it. We made a tab.
Might have to take it down though, because we got like
18
age restricted. We might have to put it on Patreon or something like that, or locals. We'll have to see, because it got like age restricted yesterday. Yeah. So I don't know if it's still showing up properly, everything, but it definitely might have to come down. Yeah, just for the sake of the change.
Yeah, go to our page after this, Rick James. You'll see it under the members only tab. So Moso, then we'll go to TCB. Moso, what has happened since you've been here in Medellin to some of your friends? Has any girl ever tried you? Have you caught a girl trying to put some of your drink? Or what preventative measures do you take since you're living here basically long term? So first, has any girl ever tried you, stealing, scoping you? And then two, how many guys do you know that have been robbed or stolen from or scoped here?
So I've definitely had a girl try me. It was actually caught on live stream. I took it down. I had met up with a girl off Tinder, and I was just not being careful minded. I was getting really desperate for content. You know what I'm saying? I would call it desperate. But really it was just on some like, hey, come straight to the crib. We don't got to do nothing you don't want to do. I just want to vibe, drink, whatever. I'm going to be on live stream. She was totally down. So it's actually a really funny story, but it's something that I think I would want to give to you guys as on this stream, and I'll probably talk about it later. So the girl that I was talking to was not actually the girl that ended up coming over, right? And sometimes what we do as men when we're thinking with the wrong head, even though I wasn't thinking with that head, I kind of was. She sends me a photo of herself, and instead of me actually doing a video call with her, I just took her photos. I'm like, all right, cool. Pull up here. I'll let you into the apartment. And when she came, I realized that she probably was like 20 or 30 pounds less than whatever the girl was inside of the photo. So she says, oh, I lost a lot of weight. I used to be fatter, whatever. I said, okay, cool. Look, I'm going to take a picture of your ID. I'm going to take a picture of your face. I made sure to walk her past like the security cameras. She can't leave without, my key. I'm thinking I'm doing everything on point. So she gets upstairs. We start the live stream. Everything is going absolutely wonderful. We're dancing, we're drinking, we're chilling. The chat is coming in, we're talking. But the entire time we're together, she's coordinating something with somebody on her phone, actually. And I'm not paying it no mind because I'm thinking like, okay, when I'm back in the States and the girl's on her phone, a lot of the times they texting their friend, let them know, hey, I'm with this guy. I just want you to know I'm safe, whatever it is. Or, they're texting someone who they're going to end up probably linking after me. So I don't think too much of it. But she was reading the chats, which is why I say on stream sometimes, guys, if you guys are on stream with me, don't talk to the girls in Spanish. Literally, if you have a question, ask me the question. I'll ask her the question in Spanish. But someone said something to her that triggered her, and it started setting off red flags. And a lot of people in the chat actually noticed it before I did. So when I actually pulled her into the room to try to get her mood back in, that was actually when I caught the fact that whoever coordinated that meetup, some dude actually was texting me through her WhatsApp number. So as I'm looking at her, like I'm looking at Al right now, I'm receiving a WhatsApp message from her at the same time. And I'm looking at her and I'm looking at the WhatsApp message like, how the fuck are you writing me if you're looking at me right now? You know what I'm saying? And that was when I realized that whoever this person is actually just sending girls out. They create fake Tinder profiles and they send girls out when dudes want to link up because dudes don't do their due diligence. So I said, yo, what, like, what is this? And she tried to tell me, oh, my phone doesn't work. My friend had to text me for you. And I'm like, yeah, but your friend who's pretending to me you is sending me hearts. Like they're not aware that you've already arrived at the apartment or just something to that whole like degree. So now my security mind starts going off and I realized a whole lot of things that I should have did that I did not do. You know what I mean? But long story short, I ended up kicking her out. She was trying to assure me that nothing was going to happen to me, that her face was all over these cameras. But these girls don't care. As you guys saw with the two dudes that were drugged, they don't care if they're on stream for 3-4 hours. If they can drug you, they're probably going to get away with it. And that's just what the situation is. So after I kicked her out, I had reflected on a couple of things I should have did. Number one, I should have took her phone and turned it off. And now when I'm with girls, I tell them to put their phone on airplane mode, text whoever you need to text before you get there, put it on airplane mode, don't have the address, nothing. Because these people had my address and they were taking pictures of my address. And she was trying to assure me, it's a lot of stuff to try to explain it. But whoever it was coordinating, he wasn't on point with how he was coordinating his shit. So, I should have made her turn her phone off, put it on airplane mode. Before I even met up with her, I should have did a video call before just meeting up with her on Tinder, which was one of the, first like mistakes that I made. But I had learned from that point on, if you're going to meet up with a girl on Tinder, and it's not to say you can't. I've met with plenty of girls on Tinder. They were absolutely great vibes. But you should meet people, if you're going to meet them for the first time off an online site, meet them in a public place where it's, you have to go start from one location before you take them back to your place. Because usually when you go directly from, having her come straight to you, thinking it's just going to be a quick, vibe or anything, you're putting yourself in monumental amounts of danger. I was super concerned if I was going to come out and get stabbed or someone was going to try to rob me if they saw me because I was obviously a gringo. So it's just, yeah. And then that was the only situation where a girl might have been, I don't know what she was trying to coordinate. Like I said, if I'm ever with a girl, maybe this is my drink right here. I'll put my drink on the other side of her at all times. I'll be giving her a shot like this. I don't even give them a chance to put anything in my drink. But a lot of these girls, they are a lot smarter than you because they understand our nature more than we get theirs. So she would have found a point in time where she could have did something and try to take advantage of me. So just because of that happened, I kicked her out. Now that's my story. As for a lot of dudes that are out here, I know plenty of dudes that's been drugged. A lot of dudes don't want to report it. They don't want to come on YouTube with it. They've been drugged. They've been scoped. They've been drugged in the club when they're dancing with a girl, been drugged, taken advantage of when they bring a girl back to their crib. I was telling someone a story about how he broke up with his girl and she literally tried to drug him. And I think that that's just one of those kinds of situations. If you're actually with a girl and you're dating her for a few, and you guys get into a bad fallout and she tries to drug you, there really is not much you can really do about that, because at that point your guard is completely down. You've been dating this girl for years, but it's just for the sake of the matter. And that's a really rare situation. It's not even really relevant to bring up, but for most of the situations that this does happen, it's just carelessness. It's complete carelessness, and I think a lot of dudes need to be careful, because most dudes that I know that have been in these kinds of situations is because they're just thinking with the wrong head. They're thinking with alcohol. They're thinking with drugs in their system. They're thinking with some kind of desperation. Like, I'm going to be completely honest to say, I was honest to get a girl on stream for the first time. Now I'm a little bit more patient. I vet these girls. I meet them a couple times before I bring them back to my personal place. And if I bring a girl back to my place, literally, it's going through the bag, separating the bag, putting it in a completely different room. The phone's got to be off. And if a girl's giving me any trouble with any of that stuff, I say, you know what? I'll call your ride back to wherever you came from, and you can go. She doesn't have to stay.
Yeah. That's so much sauce right there. Is that's a ton of sauce, and some of the things we talked about doing as well. And I think I was talking to Steve a little bit right before this stream. I think the girls here yesterday might have been trying to scope me and Steve, the ones that were on live stream, right? So the whole time they wanted us to get the one chick wanted us to get beers. I think it was more so the redhead chick that was trying to do it. She wanted us to get beers. She was on her phone the whole time during the live. I told her to put that shit away. She kept pulling it out. Then she leaves for like 20, 30 minutes in the bathroom on her phone. I'm like, yo, I'm texting her like, yo, you got to come back out. But what I did was we were doing the live stream. I had control of the alcohol the whole entire time. I had the bottle with me. Wasn't letting her pour. I had the one chick pour the liquor in Steve's mouth in the jacuzzi for content wise, but I'm watching the bottle the entire time, right next to her, to the point where she's not going to be able to put anything in. And the bottle has like a little bit of a thing in it, has like kind of like a protector, a stopper to stop anything from going inside the bottle. So it's not like the bottles in the States where it's just you open it and then it's an open bottle and you can just pour it. It has a stopper to prevent people from putting things inside of it. So she's pouring in the mouth, or in Steve's mouth, and I'm watching the bottle the entire time. The bottle never leaves my eyes. And then every single second, I have either the bottle in my hand or the bottle's behind me, and I don't let anybody else get behind me. But the girl was cool the entire time, but then she comes back from the bathroom and then she starts being a bitch. At that point, we had her, just leave. And this was a chick that I had kicked it with the first night and nothing bad had happened. However, what probably happened was she probably told some people that we have a really nice Airbnb, all of that stuff, and then she was coming back, and then they were probably trying to set it up. She wanted us to get beers. Beers are open containers, so it's easier for you to put stuff in. She's like, I want Corona. Corona is going to be an open bottle to where you can just drop it in very easily, or a can. So yeah. And she wasn't drinking any of the vodka or any of that stuff. So even when we had the other chick over that I've kicked it with 3 or 4 times, I'm constantly watching the bottle, constantly making sure that, things aren't happening that they're not supposed to. And that's the way you got to do it, man. You got to be safe. You got to be prepared. You got to know how to move. But you got to understand this. This is the moral of the story for today. You can do 9 things out of 10 correctly, right? We did 9 things out of 10 correctly in Lima. Homies Hub did 9 things out of 10 correctly. I'm sure Steve's family that got hit, like, they did a lot of things correctly, but that one thing that you miss could cost you all your money. It could cost you your life. So you definitely need to make sure that you're on your P's and Q's at all point in time. Staying as sober as possible is going to help you. Not being too crazy drunk or inebriated or anything like that. That's going to help you. Taking all the precautions we talked about today will help you. All of that stuff. So
yeah. Let me we'll introduce Cash. We'll bring you over in a second because we got another guest here real quick, guys, before we close out. I want to do one quick thing, guys, before we close out. So I'm always thinking of ways that some stuff can be prevented, maybe measures that can be taken to keep our shit from getting stolen, stop from being scopolamine, all this shit, right? So I'll say one, and then on the next one we do, we'll come up with more. But there was one I was thinking of, guys. So there's these little trackers. They're not the Apple ones. What are they called? AirTags. They're like almost like as thin as a credit card. So they literally look like a credit card, shaped like a credit card, about the size of a credit card. Now, you could put these trackers inside of suitcases, inside the lining of suitcases and things like that. I had an idea to super glue them bitches, right? So take some fucking like Gorilla Glue and super glue that bitch to the back of my computer, right? So this is just some sauce, guys, just in my mind. So I'm literally going to take, I just bought a new Apple computer. I don't care if fucking it gums it all up with fucking adhesive. I'm going to take one of them trackers and I'm going to glue that bitch to the bottom of my shit. I'm going to glue it to one of my cards in my wallet. So like maybe to the back of it. So not in my wallet because we'll just take my cards out. Glue it to pick a dummy card that might be about to expire, guys, or whatever. Glue it to that. Basically, you're giving yourself time. They're going to have to scrape that shit off of there. It's going to be so hard. I'm going to put one on the back of my iPhone, right? Like literally, I'm going to take this case off and I'm going to glue one of them right here because I don't use the that fucking whatever, Magna charger. So I might just take this case off and go fucking raw dog, whatever. But essentially, guys, you just want when they steal some shit from you, damn, fuck it. They won't even know what it is. So I'll put it in the I forget the name of it. It's called
a Pebble Bee tracker. Pebble Bee.
Yeah, and there's one made by shout out to TCB. And there's tile ones. So no one ever talks about that because you put them in there, then they can take it out. But if you super glue that shit, it's going. But like I said, they can get it off. But by the time you realize your shit's gone, you can get it. So hold on, we got a special guest. Cash Travels in here. Cool dude. We met him yesterday for the first time. Let me give you the mic. You witnessed somebody getting scoped recently, so let me have you sit down. Yeah, I'm gonna have him sit down real quick. Sit down real quick. I'm gonna let you take my slot, Cash. Just introduce yourself to the people. This is a members only live, but then we're gonna go live after.
For sure.
Hey, Cash, real quick before you do that, want to shout out Kev B, always supporting the channel. Send us in a $10 super chat for this loss in the game. Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, I haven't seen sauce like this on any other channel. Like this is some serious sauce, and if you guys use these tips, they will help you out tremendously. So appreciate all the love, Kev, per usual, on this. But yeah, without further ado, you can introduce yourself, Cash, and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Okay, guys, my name's Cash Travels on YouTube. Just Make That Money on TikTok. I got both mics. Both. Yeah. I got the other one here. Yeah. And what you're talking about safety in Colombia?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well,
how long have you been here?
I've been here almost like 5-6 months total, but I've been solo traveling for about a year. I was in Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Bali, Colombia, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Brazil, Panama City. And I just feel like when it comes to like safety period, bro, I feel like if you don't, can we curse and shit like that here? Yeah. You must be a dumb motherfucker if you get caught, because my boys just got caught not too long ago. It went viral all over on Twitter, Instagram, and all that.
Yeah, you were in the viral video.
Yeah, I was the one that recorded, bro.
These dumbasses.
Yeah, these dumb motherfuckers, bro. I got like 1.7 mil or some shit like that. Yeah. And if you see, like, I feel like when you've been traveling for a long time, you could kind of see the signs, especially out here in Colombia. These girls be like the aggressive type of bitches right there. You gotta look at their eyes and how they be moving. Because if their eyes are on something like this, like if you don't speak Spanish, a little different, but I'll be like, ¿qué tu gusta? ¿Tu gusta marihuana? ¿Tu si coca? ¿Qué tu gusta? And a lot of the girls will be like, yo, I like 2C, I like coke. And their eyes just be like this. And I'm just like, nah, those are the girls you just gotta stay away from. Okay. Usually the girls that I'm going for, like the quiet ones, the one that I just like, they look kind of normal type shit, but I feel like those aggressive girls that are coming up to you, especially on the street, if they grabbing your dick, grabbing your arm, calling you mad, bonita, nah, you just looking for trouble.
Sticking their tongue out.
Yeah, like whistling at you, cat calling and shit. That's already in the street. But when it comes into the crib, bro, if you watch that video, these girls is physically pouring drinks down their mouth. That's like the 100% no-no. I don't care what country you in. I don't care if it's Colombia or in Asia. You don't just let girls just pour drinks down your mouth. That's one. Two, usually, especially you hear all those horror stories, you should already be on some, I'ma pour you a drink. And I told my boys the last time, when you bring a girl to your crib, the big thing is you're supposed to be the host. So at that point, I'm like, yo, bitch, sit your ass down. You don't need to do nothing. Just, you can sit right there. I'll make your drinks. I'll do all that shit. Just sit right there because I want to keep my eyes on you. Feel me? I'll be on some over paranoid. I have the bathroom. I don't care if I got to take a shit, piss. I'm watching you while I'm there. Like, yeah, everything good? All right, cool. But for me, I'm Puerto Rican, so I speak Spanish, so it's a little bit different. But especially when you come out here, I feel like I'm not even sponsored by these motherfuckers, but there's this app called Duolingo. It's free, bro. Go on the App Store, Android, fucking Apple. You learn some basic fucking Spanish, bro. What's that?
You said so that video was real? Because a lot of people don't think it's real.
I swear on everything I love, bro. I'll tell you exactly what happened. And everybody don't even know the backstory. That's why people get me tight in the comments because they don't understand the whole story. You were there with us or no?
No, I wasn't there.
Nah, it was Jeff, Nate, and all of them. The whole plan was we all linked up. It was a good like 9, 10 of us, bro. We were all supposed to go to La Setenta to go to this little club with Leo and all them motherfuckers. So that was the whole plan. So me and all these motherfuckers is moving. Chris and the other guy, the streamers, they by the slushy spot. So we waiting for them. And what happened was I was like, yo, wait real quick. Let me go get them and then we'll go. So we already went through a whole fucking bottle and a half of agua. Then we're all drinking slushies. We already tossed. So, and it was like Christmas Eve. So you already know we feeling nice. So what happened was I go get them. When we come back, I swear to God, we walking and there's these 2 girls and there was one in red and I was already feeling saucy. So I was like, yo, mi amor, tú muy bonita con el rojo. And I was like, the girl in red, like, you real pretty, like, yo quiero hablar contigo. So after that, I wanted to talk to her, whatever the case is. At one point, the Captain G was feeling the girl. What's good with y'all? Well, what's good with you? No, you're good. No, you're good. At one point, Captain G was feeling the girl. So I was like, yo, if you want the girl, just take her. I don't give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? So he walked away with her. Them 2 was like, nah, we're not going to go to the party. That's when I was with Jeff and they and all them. And after that, bro, these motherfuckers is over there getting tossed the fuck up. They're already drinking. They're getting all tossed. I swear to God, the next day, everybody, I think Jeff and everybody in the chat was sending me the video. And I'm just like, nah, this got to be fake. Bro, I'm blowing up this motherfucker's phone, both of them. And I knew something was wrong because you know how on WhatsApp, when you write a message, you get 2 checks for one that you sent, one for the delivered.
Yeah.
That shit had 1 check.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, it wasn't even sending. So I was like, nah, something's wrong. So I literally get dressed. I go over there, I knock on the fucking door, and they're like this. What the fuck? I said, bro, I hope this is a motherfucking joke. They said, nah, I think these girls drugged us. I go in there, I swear to God, they got 3 phones stolen, a fucking iPod, a fucking 2 laptops. They got a total of $6,000 worth of equipment gone. And then the worst shit that got me tight, that shit was on Christmas.
They was all there. Everybody here was with these guys. These guys really got robbed.
Yeah.
It wasn't,
But we were separate. That's the thing, because when we was in Paquilleres, when they met those 2 girls, they were like, nah, we're gonna go to our crib real quick and we just chill with them because they're streaming. It's good for content. They got jacuzzi, so it was a better option than going to the club. So we separated, and bro, if y'all watch that video on my Instagram, it's Justin #2 Real. I promise you that shit was the stupidest.
You have it on there. I was trying to find.
Yeah,
the video.
bro. That's what I'm saying. I got the 2 of the videos. I got the one video of me going in on.
I want to see the video you going in on them, so I could show them real quick. It's Justin
#2 Real. This one.
Yeah, I did a whole breakdown of everything they did wrong on stream, and everyone was like, "Man, you man, they must have paid you. I'm like, bro, nobody paid me.
That shit was not staged at all, bro. Because again, to lose all that shit, bro, that shit was no joke.
Is this it?
Oh
Yeah, that one.
They can see it on the stream.
We'll put it. I just want to make
sure. Real quick, y'all. So here, go full screen, real quick. Real quick, y'all. This is what a tile looks like, just so y'all know. Let me see. So if y'all can see, this is how small a tile is, right? This is literally a tracker. So you can literally put this in anything. You guys can buy them on Amazon, but literally you could super glue this motherfucker to the back of an iPhone, to the back of an iPad, whatever, and MacBook Pro. And at least if someone steal your shit and they going up towards what is it, Bayo or some shit, and the fucking runoff taxi driver nigga that's going away, you might be able to catch your shit because AirTags, they probably know what those look like, but these are so stealthy, they're not gonna really know what this is. And by the time they do, you could show up with the cops and get your shit back. In some cases, again, it's not foolproof, guys, but definitely buy a tile if you're traveling. These are kind of better than the AirTags, in my opinion. Hopefully, I can hear that. I had the mic a little down, but this is a tile. All right, we're gonna bring up
I'm gonna
something
play
real quick.
I want to play this. This is from Cash.
Okay, Cash Trap. Oh, my bad. Oh, hold on, before I give it to you guys, we're about to start. We're about to end this members only, and we're gonna do a big stream with all the YouTubers, all the fam down here in Medellin in a second. But we're gonna play this video real quick.
We got a Medellin Avengers stream coming up, man. Got all the superheroes trying to defeat the evil hookahs and the gringo pricers. So yeah. But I'm gonna play this real quick from Cash Travel. Shout out to him. And I'll shout out his channel as well. But this was the video, went viral. I saw this. So
the one that you about to show is the one that don't getting drugged. The one that went viral is the one under it. Yeah, that one. I
want to show them the viral video. We reviewed the drugging one, so we won't do that right now, but we'll show the viral one. So or Steve, do I have to pull it up on your computer?
You don't have to.
Okay, just put the mic next to it. Just put the mic next to the sound.
Yeah, all of us should just share, right? All of us just share.
Yeah, it should share.
These two are officially the dumbest. Bro, they got drugged. I was in Colombia. These girls took. Bro, listen to me. These girls took 3 phones, a laptop, iPad. What else did they take?
Bro, my Ray-Bans that I love took the.
Your Ray-Bans too? Y'all don't have a Find My iPhone?
Yeah, it's here.
Where is it?
It's in place.
Bro, we need you. Did you get to the cops and all this shit or no? You want to go? Bro, I thought this shit was a joke. They dead ass came to Colombia and got drugged, bro. They got drugged. I can't believe this shit. Oh my god, bro. Look at this. And my guy fell. Let me. Can I get a look at your head real quick? He walked right into the damn door, bro.
That's the part where at that point I knew it was real because it was like
blood everywhere, bro. You know they
blood.
had to pay over $150 fee for the blood on the sheets and all that shit. Like that shit was a disaster, bro.
That's crazy. Yeah. So shout out to Cash Travels. Definitely follow him on IG, Justin, the number 2, and then Real. And then what's your YouTube channel?
Cash Travels. Cash
Travels on YouTube. Make sure you sub up to him as well.
Appreciate it.
And then Homies Hub is right here as well. His channel.
The Homies Hub. You guys know that already. The Homies Hub. You have to tap in on YouTube.
Yes, sir. Want to thank everybody for coming out today. We're going to end this stream in a second and close out and everything. Like the video. And guys, definitely take this advice if you're traveling. Like I said, this is some serious sauce. And yeah, man, we appreciate you all tuning in for the live. Wanted to give TCB a second to give his last thoughts on everything.
Yeah, thank you for joining,
and
TCB.
Definitely wanted to thank him once again for coming up. Didn't have to. did it to help the channel out and to help out anybody that's going to be in this situation or any, kind of prevent those situations. So appreciate you, TCB. What are some of your last thoughts?
Yeah, appreciate you guys bringing me on this evening. I think, the main thing is, following channels like you guys' channel, Intuition, doing research, learning the language, making sure you have backups for things, when you travel. All those things can really, really help you out and really just, also like if you go to places that, there's a lot of activity that's happening like this, uh, try and go with a friend. I think especially if you're going like a first timer, if you're new to traveling, just kind of go with folks. If you can't go with anybody, see if you can link up with other people that are traveling at the same time or meet other people as well that can help you out, in case something happens. But no, I think this stream was dope, and I think that people can pull a lot of value from it. So appreciate you guys, coordinating this and putting it together.
All right, bro. Well, thank you, man, again for joining, bro. We're gonna close out, y'all. We're gonna do a big public stream with Cash Travels, Homies Hub, Osborne, Arnie, Jeff, Nate. I think we may have some other people pulling up. We're gonna try to get some girls over here. We're gonna try to do something fun. But we're just cooling, guys. It's Monday in Medellin, so we're gonna try to give y'all some more content, man. It's gonna be lit. But we thank you guys so much. We're gonna do this again. We'll call it like, what are we gonna call it? Gotta know how to move. Gotta know how to move in these places, guys. But I think you guys learned a lot, and we'll be doing more members live streams very, very soon, guys. Thank you. Anything else international for the people?
Yes, I'm going to go full screen. Want to get last words from Homies Hub real quick.
Okay, cool.
And we'll bounce you down real quick. TCB, once again, thank you so much for pulling up. And want to get some last words, last thoughts from Homies Hub real quick.
Yes, you guys later. Peace. Yes, you guys later. Peace.
All right, bro.
Yeah, guys, like I said, and I say I say this all the time, don't move in fear. I feel like 2025 is the year of freedom. We encouraging more people to want to travel, want to go around the world. So, I'm not saying don't be careless. You should be careful, but don't move in fear. As long as you have the game, then you should feel confident that the game works. You just seen several people hop on and that have been traveling for a long time, going all over the world, and they're good. They're still here. They breathing and they thriving. So, stay confident, be free, stay safe.
All right, y'all. Cool. Anything else before we close?
Want to just say, guys, join the Patreon too, if you want to support us, but also get a lot more sauce. We have all of our breakdowns on the countries. We're working on Brazil, and Brazil's coming next. Once we go to Thailand, Philippines, Bali, all of that, we're going to have breakdowns on those countries as well, how to move over there, and just trying to keep men safe and helping them travel successfully. So make sure you guys join. The $20 tier is going to have most of the breakdowns. We're going to have to start putting some of the stuff on the $50 tier. But yeah, man, check that stuff out. And then we're also going to be putting up more debauchery on Patreon as well. We have a ton from yesterday. The girls got naked before the stream. We had to tell them to put their clothes back on because we were streaming on YouTube, and we still got age restricted on our videos. So we got some debauchery that we're going to be putting up from here. Hopefully we're going to get a lot more tonight with this party afterwards. And yeah, man, that's all I really got to say.
All right. Yeah, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.